afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching us BQ on Bloomberg Quint Live. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Hi Navneet, and I'm Agam Akil. If you got questions on equity, this show is perfect for you. Send your questions to us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022-454-04141. And of course, also mail us at askbq@bloombergquint.com. Just make sure you do add the AskBQ hashtag. But how are the markets looking, Navneet?
Well, weak. That's how we started, and we've not seen any major recovery coming by, Agam. And as we speak, both the benchmarks as well as the broader market indices have been trading in the negative territory. Nifty is down almost 45 points in trade, though it's off the opening levels, I would call it. And Sensex also sitting with cuts of about 126 points. There was sharp recovery in the second half of the session yesterday. Let's see if that comes in today's trade as well. But in terms of market breadth, that continues to be weak. So the broader market picture is not looking great at all. In fact, as we speak, it's almost 1:2 in favor of the declines. In terms of Nifty contributors list, pull up that one, and that's going to tell you which are the stocks which is dragging Nifty lower today. So Reliance Industries, IndusInd Bank for the second straight day has seen cuts, and Kotak Mahindra Bank, which was up and about in yesterday's trade, is seeing some bit of selling in today's session, but some support definitely coming in from L&T, HDFC, but not too much. Actually, these stocks are just up about between 1 to 1.5%. In terms of sectoral gainers or losers, most of the sectoral indices today have been trading with some bit of cuts, but metals is the one. I think in the last few sessions we've seen some buying coming in specifically for the steel companies. So Tata Steel is the one which has been doing well. But in terms of losers, you've got the Nifty Realty Index, where Indiabulls Real Estate and also DLF, both the stocks have seen some bit of cuts, 1.5% lower for Nifty Realty, and Indiabulls Real Estate and DLF down between 3 to 2%. Pharma Index, the other loser, Aurobindo Pharma and Biocon are seeing sharp cuts in today's session. And the third one is Nifty Media Index. Zee Entertainment, which went up in yesterday's trade, is now down as much as 5 to 6%. This is also your top loser on Nifty as we speak. From the broader markets, I just want to highlight few gainers. First, NMDC has been in news for its Chhattisgarh mines, which resumed operations yesterday. The stock's up about 2%. RITES has seen big gains in today's trade, and also some Tata Group companies like Communication as well as LXE are seeing gains for about 2% respectively. On the losing side, your usual suspects, Reliance Capital, Jet Airways, Dewan Housing, which was down about 9% in yesterday's session, has seen further cuts coming about in today's trade as once again. And Escorts from the Auto Pack has seen some bit of cuts in today's trade. So net Agam, the picture is not looking that great at all. We were expecting a positive start because of yesterday's recovery from where we bounced back 20 DMA, but that didn't take place in the morning session.
Yeah, and of course, concerns are very clear right now as far as benchmarks go. But on that note, let's get in our experts for the day. We have with us Vikas Jain of Reliance Securities, and independent investment advisor Sharmila Joshi also joins us to answer all your questions. Welcome both of you to the show.
Okay, before we start taking individual queries, I just want to highlight the technical picks that we've got from Vikas. He has a sell call on Bajaj Auto. The time period for this one is about 3 to 4 days. His target on the stock is about 2,800 and stop loss of about 2,955. The other one is Engineers India, where he's given a buy call. Time period for this call is about 8 to 10 days. He's having a target price of about 127 with stop loss of about 111. The last call that he has is on UPL, where he has a sell rating. For this, he has a time period of about 5 to 7 days. He's given it a target price of 965. The stock currently trades around the levels of 1,000, and the stop loss for this one is at 1,032 Agam.
All right, well, on that note, let's get in our queries. And the first one is perhaps an important one, considering the volatility that the stock has seen. We have Srinath, who writes to us on WhatsApp, and he wants to invest 5 lakh rupees in Yes Bank and wants to know what would be a good time to enter. Well, of course, we all know that Yes Bank has been under tremendous pressure. It's come off from levels of around 150, 160, very recently, that too. And a lot of concerns, especially following the AGM, where a lot of shareholders who had attended the AGM were not, didn't come out of the AGM with a lot of confidence. For now, we're looking at declines at 116, 117. Sharmila, if I can take this one up with you, what would you do with Yes Bank now? Would you still be a little cautious, or you wouldn't mind start nibbling into something like this one?
Well, as you said, Yes Bank has been hit by multiple concerns. One, of course, we saw play out earlier in the earlier part of the year when you were sort of wondering who the new management is going to be, etc. And then when you had a good name come in, unfortunately, things didn't really work out as per plan in the sense that the other banks which have had a top management change have sort of reacted favorably to these changes. But there are a whole host of concerns that are sort of bogging Yes Bank, their exposure to the NBFCs. Then there was that whole rumor which Mr. Rana Kapoor sorted, which said that he's trying to get a re-entry into the board, etc., etc. So I think it might be best to just wait a little. Really, I think that while the results that they sort of declared didn't sort of seem to suggest that there should be such a deep drawdown in the stock, it is what we have seen. So I think there will be it is going to take time for sort of confidence to get back into the stock, and you are going to wait for like some sense of stability that yes, this is the board that's now here to stay, and they are going to take things forward in a systematic manner from here. So I think give it a couple of quarters. The levels are not bad, but I would just be more happy in my mind if I just waited for at least 1 quarter before I really bought into the stock.
Okay, so wait for 1 quarter, see if the numbers pan out as per what the management has been indicating. But as of now, no respite for Yes Bank. Remember, the sentiment was only soured with UBS cutting down target price sharply for this one yesterday. All right, the next one is a technical query. This one comes on YouTube. Ishan writes to us and he's asking if this is the right time to add RBL. So I'm going to take this query to Vikas. How are the charts of RBL looking like? Currently, it's down about 1%, but would you advise buying at any correction?
Well, if you look at the stock has seen a good amount of 15 to 17% north from its 52-week high, and now it's trading at multiple support areas of 100-day average. So it's a good buy range at the current level, but only thing is as the overall broader market optimism is not so great. So you will have to invest into stages. So you can buy at the current levels, followed by near to 605 to 610 with a stop of 585.
Okay, well, we move on to another query on WhatsApp. This one is from Maulik, and he wants to know if he should make a fresh entry into Group Finance at current prices, or should he wait till the merger with Bandhan Bank? We all know that Group Finance is currently under pressure. It's under pressure today because of the mandate that HDFC Limited has in order to, well, reduce its stake in Group Finance. And this is, of course, one of the precursors to the merger with Bandhan Bank. But Sharmila, how are you seeing Group Finance as an investment when it comes to the long term? What's your view here?
I think the part of that question was that should you wait for that merger with Bandhan Bank, and I think yes, you should wait for that. At current price, I mean, given its book size and all, to me it looks fairly valued. So let's see what the synergies really bring them. And let's not forget that housing finance is again a space that is under severe pressure right now. So you may get it cheaper even from that perspective. Even though, of course, I'm not suggesting that there is anything negative that's going to come in Group Finance. But just I think it might be a better idea to wait for that merger to go through and then take a call on whether you want to buy into the combined entity.
Okay, the stock being under pressure in today's session. Let me take a query from Facebook now. Ram Prasad writes to us and he wants a view on Biocon. He's asking whether to hold, sell or buy at this level. Remember, it went ex-bonus yesterday and there were short positions seen in yesterday's trade as well, and the stock's down about 2.5%. Because it's at 52-week low, what would you advise to do on Biocon?
Tried to show some amount of recovery in yesterday's trade, but failed to do so, and again it has declined to 3%. And so we believe the stock would see some more amount of correction near to those 235 to 40 levels. So another 5 to 7% correction could be on the cards. So you should wait for some appropriate level near to 235 to 230 band to enter, because that will again give you almost 38% retracement from its high of around 360. So 232 to 235 should be a good entry point.
Okay, Vikas, we have one more query for you. It's on Edelweiss. We have Alan Divahar who wants a 3-month technical view on Edelweiss Financial Services. It's at 180. It's been under pressure of late, but it seems that a little bit of recovery has also come through over the past few sessions. What would your view be, Vikas, keeping in mind a 3-month horizon as far as Edelweiss goes?
Look at the structure is the stock has been pretty volatile. The stock has a straight move from 180 to 210, now 210 to again corrective phase to those 180, 185 levels. So the stock should hold on with a stop of around 165 and exit on rallies near to 195 to 203.
Okay, Edelweiss, at least for the year, has not given you any performance. Let me take the first query which came on YouTube from Vinay. He wants a view on stocks like Gujarat Alkali and also on Vinyl Chemical. He wants to know if these two stocks can be bought at current levels for the next 6 months. Sharmila, we've seen some good numbers coming from the chemical space, but particularly for these two stocks, would you recommend buying for the next 6 months?
I'm afraid I don't track either, but I would agree with you that chemicals as a space has been interesting because of what's happening really with China as well as on the global level. So really, I mean, there could be stocks there that I would recommend. For instance, I like an SH Kirkar, I like Make Money Organics, but I don't have specific coverage on the stocks that were asked about.
Fair enough. I'll just take a technical view on these two stocks from Vikas. If you could help our viewer Vinay with this one, Gujarat Alkali on the charts and also Vinyl Chemical. Are these good levels for somebody to enter and hold on for the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, if in case of Vinyl India, the stock has almost been halved from the highs of around 130, 135 levels to the current levels of 70. So not a good amount of bottom formation has been happened, but if the view is of more than 6 months, yes, he can enter, he can chip in something. But in case of Gujarat Alkalis, he should wait for some more decline. We believe the stock has not yet made its bottom, so he should wait some more decline and add near to those 480, 485 levels.
Okay, we move on and talk about another long-term query. We have a question from Sivakumar, and he's got 3 stocks on his radar: AU Small Finance Bank, Equitas, and Ujjivan Financial Services. As we all know, they all focus on microfinance lending. He wants to know which of these stocks has the best management pedigree, and he's looking to invest for the long term. Sharmila, I'll direct this query to you. 3 stocks again: AU Small Finance, Equitas, and Ujjivan Financial Services. What do you like?
Very honestly, I like the stocks exactly in the order that you mentioned them: AU, Equitas, and Ujjivan. This is not a comment really on the management quality, but Equitas has faced challenges of its own, and so has Ujjivan. In that respect, AU Small Finance Bank has sort of rode the general, the market better, rode out the market, this choppy market better. But yes, I think that is the order that I like the stocks in. But I like really all 3 of them, and I think that it's unfortunate that A, the issues that they face, and B, the kind of market that we're having, which about 2 or 3 years earlier, perhaps these stocks would have sort of been outperformers because the entire focus was on NBFCs, and now we have a scenario where NBFCs are under stress. Having said that, I like all 3 of them.
Okay, let's move on and take our next query on IDFC and Karnataka Bank. Love Lab writes to us. He's holding Karnataka Bank at 123. Let's just pull up the stock price of both these two stocks. And IDFC, he's bought at about 46. So he's making losses, I believe, in both these trades. He's asking if he should book losses or he should look to average at these 2 levels. Vikas, I'm going to come to you. What would you advise him to do? Should he average both the trades at current levels, or should he wait out, put a stop loss, or he should just book losses?
In case of IDFC, the pattern does not look so great because the stock has continuously failed to cross those highs of around 39-40 levels on the higher side. So because IDFC Limited has not seen any great move, but compared to the IDFC Bank, stock chart looks continuously promising. So what he can do is he can convert the IDFC holdings into IDFC Bank if he wishes to. And in case of Karnataka Bank, the stock has been trading at good support levels of 105, 107. So you can chip in and buy some average some quantity at the current levels, but try to maintain a cheap stop of around 99 on the downside and exit on rallies near 215, 117.
Okay, well, we have another viewer called Bhanu Chandar who also wanted a technical and a fundamental view on IDFC First Bank. So while we already do have a technical view, I will direct the question of IDFC First Bank and take it up with Sharmila as well. Sharmila, your view on this one, do you like this bank, or would you rather stick to the larger, more established names?
Yes, I would rather stick with the larger, more established names. I think ever since we've seen the listing of IDFC First Bank, they started off with a bang with some unusual way of marketing, etc. But we really haven't seen them deliver in terms of performance. So I would really stick with the more established private banks rather than buying IDFC.
Okay, let me just club few queries. A lot of you are writing about pharma pack, which has been underperforming today. And in today's session as well, we've seen a lot of pharma companies moving lower. So Brijesh Pandya on Facebook is asking what's up with companies like Lupin, also with Sun Pharma, Biocon. Also, we've received some queries. We've already taken a technical view on that one. Sharmila, let me come to you. The Nifty Pharma Index this year is down 9%. I'm just looking at the constituents. Hardly Cipla and Divi's have given you not major returns, but just about flat to positive between 1 to 7%. There is wealth erosion seen, and the concerns have been lingering, I think, for the last 3 to 4 years with regard to pricing pressures in this particular sector. Now, at these levels, do you see any valuation comfort? Would you advise somebody to venture into this space? If yes, which are your top picks?
Well, actually, I like Biocon, and I would also sort of, if at this point in time, if I had to buy something, I would buy the MNC pharma companies because their business is more domestic based. Another sort of mid-cap idea that I like is Shilpa Medicare. The whole problem with pharma companies is really playing out for us. Like for instance, today you had this whole sort of negative report on Oro Pharma where they said there could be issues, and then now we have a note from a brokerage saying that that may not be the case, and etc. etc. So the too many sort of negative news flows hitting the stocks at different points in time, and at the same time we are not seeing any let up in terms of pricing pressure in the US, and a lot of these companies are now export oriented. So it's making the going a little tough for them. The negatives are in the price, but nobody is really seeing any big ticket positive, and they're no longer like you can no longer like thumb the table and say yes, this is the stock to buy, because you don't know what news flow is going to hit it maybe 2 months down the line. So you have to sort of proceed with caution, but I think most of these stocks are really speaking at if you're a very long-term investor, at fairly decent prices.
Okay, let's also address Vignesh G's question. He wants a short-term view on Hero MotoCorp. And he actually has one more, so I'm going to take each of them one by one. Hero MotoCorp and Kajaria Ceramics. Let's start with Hero MotoCorp and take a technical view here. Vikas, how would you address this one? Levels to watch out for?
Levels to watch out for: this stock has been trading in a pretty narrow band of this 2600 to 2800 precise. It failed to show some amount of moment about 2800 levels, but again slipped down further and now again back to the support zone. So the stock has good support area near to those 2580, 2600 levels. So any decline near to those 2610, 2620 would be a good opportunity to enter. And on the higher side, 2800 would be the first probable target. If that is being crossed, then we believe the stock would be out of the woods for a strong up move.
Right. And the other question was on Kajaria Ceramics. If we can pull that up too and take a look as to how that one is doing right now. That's 615, currently up 1%, but how has it done over the course of the previous, 1 month, 3 months, or we can get a better idea about this one. And they have it, that's up 5% on a 1 month basis, not too much to speak for. What's your view here, Vikas? How would you trade Kajaria Ceramics? It seems fairly range bound.
Well, if you look at the stock has seen its up move and now been clearly on the downhill. The stock is making lower tops on the weekly charts also. So the stock is on the verge of a breakdown. If it's breaks 603, 600 odd levels, believe the stock can fall fast, swiftly to those 550, 560. So it's a complete avoid at current levels.
Okay, avoid Kajaria Ceramics at current levels. I'm going to take the next query from Ankur Binod, who's written to us on YouTube. He has a query on GICRE, that's General Insurance. He's bought the stock around the levels of 300 and currently it's way below Ankur's buy price. It's at 215 and he's saying that he is making losses. He wants to know if this will recover. He has a target price of about 2 to 3 years. Sharmila, I'm going to come to you. Somebody is holding GICRE, has a time horizon of nearly 2 to 3 years, but the stock's way below the buy price. What would you advise, shift investment or hold on to GICRE?
Yes, so I think unfortunately the insurance stock that he has is a general insurance stock, and we have seen really the flavor more for the life insurance play. Having said that, I think there is some expectation that there could be some tinkering in the GST rate going ahead for insurance companies, and you could maybe hope to market expects to hear that announcement around budget time or thereabouts. So maybe you could wait in expectation of that, because that would be a definite positive. In terms of business, I think general insurance would be a slower growing business than the life insurance business, but it's a very steady business, and I think that going ahead, as sort of their products get better and you see more acceptance for getting a general insurance, I think this is a company that can do better than what it is at this point in time. So in terms of business, I like the stock, but the going has been slow, I would have to agree. So maybe you could wait, in expectation of some relief in the GST, in the tax structure.
Okay, moving on to a question on HDFC Life. We have Anand Guru who wants a short-term view on this one. It's currently at a 454 and it's gaining. It has in fact gained from the levels of 380 in the month of May. So we certainly are seeing a lot of strength. In fact, this year is up 17%. Vikas, what's your view here? What would you do if you had a short-term view in mind?
If the view has been pretty short term, say over the next 10 days, then the view is that you should book profits. Because we have seen a consistent move from 370, 380 levels. We were quite positive near to those 400 odd levels. We have seen a strong up move, and we believe the stock could see some amount of flattening of phase from current price. So and decline near to those 435, 440 odd levels. So it would see some amount of profit booking. So if the view is of short term, he can exit. But if the view is of long term of more than 2 years, then he can continue to hold.
Okay, let me just clap to queries that we've received on the index on Facebook. Kunal Shukla wants a view on Nifty by June end and also the first week of July. And Brijesh is asking, when can we see Nifty crossing the mark of 12,300, which will also be the all-time high levels? Vikas, coming back to you, what's the view on the index by the end of this month, first week of July? And also, do you see it once again touching all-time high levels and going through the roof of 12,300?
Well, the view is pretty range bound, because what we have seen a stellar month in the last month. So the follow-up month usually always consolidates, and we have no any major news flows. So since 15 days have been passed in the June month expiry, and we have just tested down on the 11,780 and 12,030 on the high side. So we're just trundling around between these levels, and either side breakout would be a strong up move or a down move. So the view continues to remain positive till it sustains above 11,760 for targets of 12,030 followed by 12,200.
Okay, a really interesting question from Vivek Kanodia, perhaps a more helpful one too. He says he holds about 100 shares of HDFC Life Insurance, the stock that we just addressed with Vikas. So I'm going to take this one up with Sharmila. But he says that he's looking to add one more general insurance company. And he also wants to know which one is more rewarding, general or life insurance companies. Kindly suggest as per your analysis. So, Sharmila, firstly, if you were to pick a general insurance company, which one would it be? And the second part would be between these two segments, where would your preference lie within general and life insurance?
So I think first of all, I'd have to say that if you don't have a general insurance company, don't buy one at the moment. I don't have a recommendation on any. And if you had to buy a life insurance company, I think HDFC Life or SBI Life would be my choices. It is not so much a question of which company is better in the sense, in that sense that is general insurance better or life insurance better. But the fact of the matter is that more people buy life insurance as compared to people buying general insurance. That is a trend that is expected to change. But, honestly, at this point in time, the life insurance companies are getting more business and they are doing better. And also one hears that, so I mean, the whole GST angle that also I was referring to earlier. So that would be a better sector to focus on. And if you had to buy a stock, as I said, I'd buy an HDFC Life or an SBI Life.
Okay, that's the view on the insurance space, and it's time to hit the rapid fire segment. Just a request to both our experts, Vikas and Sharmila, please keep your answers little short so that we can accommodate as many queries as possible. This one's from Ishan. Vikas, I'm going to come to you. Best stock in the cement pack which can be bought for the next 2 to 3 months?
Ambuja Cement looks promising because the stock is again back to the support levels of 210, 213. So Ambuja Cement can be bought with a target price of around 238.
Okay, Sharmila, Ram Prasad Nuthaki wants to know, he has Biocon, should he hold or sell?
Yeah, it's a definite hold from my end.
Sharmila, one stock that you would advise to do SIP into for the next 3 to 4 years?
3 to 4 years. Okay, so that's a fairly long period of time. I think pharma would be a great space to start an SIP, and I think then I've already recommended Biocon, so maybe I can recommend Sun Pharma as well, or a Shilpa Medicare. I think if you had to do an SIP sort of an approach for the next 3-4 years, these could be good stocks.
Okay, Hariharan wants to know what is the outlook for Havells India. He's bought it at 792 and he's making a little bit of a loss. Vikas, what is the outlook for Havells India?
The stock has been hitting new highs. No point of any major reversal has been done. So we believe the stock, but we believe at this time the risk-reward ratio is not favorable. So it's better to exit because the reversal would be sharp and it can knock off 4-5% from the current levels.
Okay, Vikas, coming back to you, Melvin wants to know, is this the right time to enter into Madison Sumi?
The stock has been making multiple bottoms near to those 115, 117. If that holds on, then the stock can flare further up to 130, 135. But again, he should buy near declines near to 120 with a stop of 115.
Okay, Sharmila, Ramanjeet wants to know if it is the right time to enter RITES and Jubilant Foodworks.
RITES and Jubilant Foodworks.
Yes.
I wouldn't. I am not a buyer in either. I mean, I don't have a buy recommendation in either.
Okay, and Sharmila, do you like UFO movies?
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay, on that note, we'll thank both our guests. Thank you very much, Vikas and Sharmila, for helping our viewers with their queries. Well, that's all that we have on this edition of Ask BQ.
But remember, we're just a tweet, a post, or a call away, so keep your queries coming, and we promise to address all of them through our shows. For all our previous episodes, visit our YouTube channel or website, bloombergqueen.com. Up next is Power Lunch. Stay tuned in.